certain environmental factors will happen to make everything inconsistent or to make you have to push through the consistency. So right before we was taping some shit, taping the last one, we was driving in the whip to come here, and then, you know, Celina drives really well. So I've seen it actually make men, specifically men, feel a way in the car where these niggas be trying to like almost act like they racing her. But long story short, we was in the car. She got around this dude that wasn't signaling. They don't signal in Miami. Everybody knows what's up in Miami. These niggas don't signal for nothing. So long story short, she was able to bob a weave, get around this asshole, and this guy, for whatever reason, just felt totally defeated, pulls up next to us and then throws a cup into the car.
An aluminum can.
Smacks
into the car. Me bang into the face.
Yeah,
now,
God.
Mind you.
So now I'm ready to find this nigga. So
and
I'm like,
there's no way to find him.
So now he's skirted off this nigga because he know it's coming for him. So this happened right before we about to get on the tape or whatever. So
Amour's
like,
in the back of the car. I'm driving. The car, the can hits me in the face. Now, mind you, it could have been glass. It could have been bottle. I try to program myself and be like, yo, thank God it wasn't glass and bottle. Thank God my face isn't busted. Thank God I don't have to get stitches.
My thing, though, was after all of that, I'm still on find this nigga mode, and we can't. So I'm like, all right, so let's just dead the tape right now. And she was like, nah, this is exactly why this happened.
This is exactly why this happened. To stop us from doing shit that we've programmed and said we're going to do.
The funny thing that happens, though, is that then that happens, then I'm kind of like Aggie on the tape, and because people...
Is it the water?
Excuse me, yeah, because people create situations where they want to, instead of asking you what the issue is, they want to assume that they know. Some of the comments was really just funny, like, you know, as I don't look like I want to be here, or I'm mad because she keep cutting me off, and none of that has anything to do with actually what happened. So I say all of that to say, but I say all of that to say that just because you may have an idea that you think you know why somebody is one way doesn't necessarily mean that that's how they are, man, or that's the reasoning behind that, because that's what you think. And so
people think the worst of me. I got used to that, and it does frustrate me at times because I'll put forth, you know, I'll be on a certain vibration. I'll be on a certain energy flow. And it doesn't matter. What people see, what people want to make real, they definitely try that shit with me. Well, for example, another car story. So I'm driving in the car, mad chill, listening to 3 6 Mafia, like chilling, right? I was either listening to that or Wu-Tang. It was something that I must have looked animated in, right? So I'm singing whatever, Aseer sitting next to me, and mind you, homie pulls up next to me, and it's like, yo, roll down your window, and he's an older gentleman. So I'm like, all right, maybe my car tire is getting flat, or, you know, I'm trying to figure out why he's telling me to roll down my window. So I roll down my window real quick. Brother's like, don't talk to your man like that. You know, he just got off of work. Be nice. Be nice to him. He just got off of work. Mind you, I'm rapping to a song. I'm not even in that space with him. But what the man saw was me must have been like this and he just decided, oh, black girl, animated black girl, she's screaming on her man. And I wasn't. So that's another example of yet.
Another thing, people was
this
talking
be my
to me
little
about,
makeup moments, because I don't have time to prep
New Year. Everybody, like today is technically January 1st, so everybody celebrates New Year in January. But we Moors, we know that the fiscal New Year is January. True year is March 21st, basically. So that's the real New Year. That's when
the spring equinox.
The world is real. That's New Year, spring equinox.
And that's not to cut you off.
Right. So the thing with the New Year is the other day I was coming in the building. Yesterday I was coming in the building. So the lady was like, "Well, Happy New Year." I was like, "The same to you." She was like, "Yeah, this New Year is gonna be great." So then usually I just let them say whatever. I don't even get into what I do. But long story short, something said, "Well, I ain't gonna let this chick think that I'm celebrating this Gregorian year like that." So I said,
"Look at that alligator in the thing."
Wow, that is an alligator.
It's a lizard, but it's as big as an alligator. You see it?
It's huge. Yeah.
It's so big that it caught my attention.
It's huge.
It's in the tree. It's like a prehistoric animal. And I'm gonna
It's
pull
like
back
big.
the thing just to see if we
It's
can.
quite big. Hold up. So let me finish what I'm saying.
You can. I'm just
So-
gonna move this as you're talking. Go ahead.
So long story short,
We don't have no technical.
They created a I told a lady, I was like, well, I don't really
That looks great.
celebrate it like that. You know, she's like, well, New Year, what do you mean you don't celebrate? I said, well, this isn't New Year for me. She was like, well, it's New Year's for everybody else in the world. I said, well, everybody else in the world that's under Rome, yes, that's true. I said, but that's not what I practice. I said, but you know, I also know that it's solstice and all that, so happy that. So, get in the elevator. I'm feeling this person just really, they just can't let it go. So then he looks and he says, well, then what is being celebrated on January 1st? I said, oh, you want to know? I said, well, January 1st is being celebrated for the Castilian victory over the Moorish Empire that took place between December 31st and January 1st in what they refer to as the fall of Granada. So after I said that, and then he looked at the headdress and the fez and all of that, then basically he turned to me and was like, you know what, I'm really sorry that that happened. And I was like, wow, that's really crazy. I said, well, you wasn't there. He said, yes, but I know that ancestrally, my ancestors are still the ones responsible for it. Okay?
Wow.
So, I say all of that to say, there's a lot of people that act like they know, or act like they don't know, but they know exactly what they're doing and what they're doing it for. It's just a different time period in which we feel like the only people that can be held accountable for their transgressions against an individual community or an individual is collectively melanated people, darker skinned people. They're always put to the back or the bottom of whatever societal ill is needed to marginalize these original Americans so that way everybody else that's calling themselves Americans can prosper. And I just wanted to bring that up as a little anecdote because a lot of people, again, a lot of our people, they believe that New Year is January 1st. They believe
and that's okay.
that,
it's just not what everybody has to be under the same vine and fig tree.
Well, yeah, what I'm saying is it's okay for you to believe whatever you want to believe. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying is you can believe whatever you want to believe, but just because you believe it don't mean that it's true. And just because you may be on it like that, and because I'm not, don't make it like I'm somehow trying to rain on your parade or act like what I'm doing is better because I'm following the original aspect of what it is. So I would never, so it was easy for me. Once I found out what January 1st really was and what it was celebrating, okay, I'm never gonna celebrate New Year on January. I'm gonna do it when it's supposed to, like everybody else in the world in March. However, there's something with our people that when you try to make moves like that or whatever, they take it as a personal affront to them. And I feel like that's the issue.
That's how my doctor was before I got this foot surgery. Let me tell you, you can't be in better shape than your physician or your doctor, especially if she's 85. I had the hardest time getting this foot surgery done, and it was basically because my physician didn't like the fact that I didn't smoke cigarettes, I didn't drink coffee, I was 100 pounds. And mind you, I'm not like, oh, this is what's fly. Son, I am a work in progress. Being diagnosed with certain stuff, having foot, knee, all these issues, I've done as much as I can to try to stay out of the hospital, try to stay out of getting cut. And this bone spur, because I have on my first pair of heels, I'm going to celebrate how much pain I was in. This bone spur, thank you, honey, was so painful that I said eventually I'm gonna have to get it done. Now, mind you, I didn't know that insurance providers and all that I went through, it was basically like, punish Celina for being healthy, punish Celina for only wanting this. It was like mammogram, GYN, this, that. Like, honey, I am just here for my foot. Not only did she not give me referrals to get the clearance for the EKG, she was setting up appointments for me to see the gynecologist
Gynecologist
to
will
see a
take
mammogram.
for your foot.
I said, ma'am, I do not want a mammogram. I know that that's what I'm due for, but that is not why I'm here. And it was almost like, you're not going to tell me what I'm going to give to you.
You're not going to be more healthy.
And you're not going to be more healthy, to the point that I had to call and like, why would she report that I smoke cigarettes? My report after to get the actual surgery, she like made notes that were not real, that were not true. Oh, she drinks coffee. She's underweight. Like, just cause my weight size doesn't make me underweight. And this was, again, indicative to how things are in the world. Like, I really work hard on not always having to talk from a place of trauma, not having to always talk about some shit that went wrong or something that didn't happen. I'm very aware that certain things that took place in my life almost like allotted to just attract a certain type of energy or a certain that's why I stopped doing readings. Not because I didn't love meeting people, but because I was clear in, a lot of people are just regurgitating certain energy and certain info to stay like hooked to you, number one. And number two, I don't want to, whether I'm conscious or not, I don't want to be making relationships with people based on us being broken or hurt. No doubt you want to have things in common with folks.
That's called trauma bonding.
But not to the degree where, I lost my mom and I'm this, and now I'm gonna meet other women.
Trauma. That's what they do.
And what he just did was add on to my conversation without having to say, Celina, are you done with what you're saying? We've been together for 20 years, bro. So there's times where when we at home, when we talking, I don't actually wait for a green light to speak my piece because I don't feel like he's, weak and he's gonna feel hurt or cut off that I just interjected or added on. But I wanted to be mindful and knowing, no doubt, if I say certain stuff or have my energy might be a little bit more high than his on a certain day, what's gonna be read is, she doing too much. He need to put her in place. Why is it that when a black man and a black woman that look like us are together, it's almost like certain permission slips to just find fault, to just find skullduggery and to try to tear apart? I'm used to it, so I don't really give a fuck. So, but it's just to be mindful if you're one of those people that's hear and see, especially females, because niggas have very little to say about cutting off and all this other stuff. When you're watching Kelly Ripa and Michael Straith, or whatever his name is, they just be talking. It don't be like, so Michael, I finished my point. Now can you add on and tell me how you feel? Like, it's not like that. They just talk. When she finishes, he might come up on her.
I think what it is too is that our people have been
ridiculous.
So inundated with segregational mind frame that they done forgotten what they themselves sound like. Like, if you was to watch a documentary of like so-called black people,
we're just following the light,
hip hoppers from like the 70s, you know what I'm saying?
Right there is perfect.
You used to listen to the documentary or whatever.
Oh, we good.
With hip hoppers and stuff from the 70s, or even if you watch like old like Roots shows, like Roots, the movie or whatever, and you hear the people talk, you'll notice that the people that, as they was expressing themselves, they'll say that it was guttural. They'll say that it was primitive talk, but there was a much deeper resonance in the voice of original people, man.
Absolutely.
And it was a way where the way that we communicated was how we communicated. So it wasn't so much based upon other people watching us. I feel that we've gotten to the point where we've included so many other so-called ethnic groups that actually hate us, that don't really like us,
that don't know our mannerisms,
that covet everything about us. They covet everything. Bar none, the original man and woman of America are the premier when it comes to world culture, when it comes to initiating trends, when it comes to all that. Because if it wasn't, nobody else in the world would be breaking their neck to come here. You know what I'm saying? So there must be something about us here
about this space
that's attractive of us here that led the trends for us to be able to not only civilize the whole world, but for people to almost automatically identify a certain degree of flavor with our archetype. But what I found now is that, like, somewhere along the line, they took the bass out of the men's voice. You know what I'm saying? They they created a almost a back door where now, like, we used to set the trends when it came to like how we dress, how we rap, how we talk. I be looking at rappers now, these niggas be looking like they straight from like, not no disrespect, but they looking straight from like Africa or Rwanda or one of these other places where you could tell that they have now, or we have now, almost let so many people into our aura, our essence, that we don't know yet. We don't know where we stand anymore, where we end and they begin, or vice versa. So those of us that are now, or those of us that have an idea of ourselves and have an idea of our culture, national identity, how we feel, what pizza we like, whatever. When you can stick to that in this new era, that is toxic. You cannot have a didactic opinion about anything definitively, because if you do, there could be a whole blog page or Google rant, follow behind you just because of your opinion. Your opinion now is getting you ostracized from the very community by which you created to give yourself the opinion. So, what do you think about that?
That's like a blacklist. That's like,
yes, that's what happened with us.
That's like basically us saying, damn, we didn't know back in the day, like 15 years ago, expressing certain things that we saw that were honest and true.
To people in our community.
To people in our, we're gonna actually like make them be like, word, that's how you feel, or that's what you think. Okay, well, I can't invite y'all to this. I can't do this with that.
Yeah.
Like, we're the least judgmental people when it comes to like going out socially and being around others, but that doesn't mean that we're going to be included in said ciphers, because of whatever reason I stopped trying to figure out why. One thing that I did realize is that there is a certain blacklist, and there is a certain let's not fuck with them when you're not so like ass kissy. And I don't mean like I don't respect celebs and I don't respect they hustle. I do, to a certain degree. To a certain degree is a highlighted word though. To a certain degree, like we was watching something the other day, and I'm gonna be real. I was looking at this like Kanye, Jay-Z party, and I honestly was like, yo, these people that have this much money look so dried out, look so unhydrated. Like there's nothing that we are missing or that I have missed except for financial gain and opportunity, but it's gotta come through some other means, because I didn't get the memo that I had to lie, deceive, be manipulative, kiss ass, suckle, get a cosign. I didn't know that from this person in order to like be let in, or to like niggas that wear head wraps that ain't even paid. This ain't even celeb status. Did that shit to us in Brooklyn on a like a regular communal level, where it was like, word, y'all are smart. We're gonna put niggas with no IQ level on podiums. Yep. We're gonna give bitches with issues,
bitches
with issues. We're gonna allow them the microphone to talk about relationships and yoni healing. Like, son, no doubt you gotta talk about yoni healing because you smashed like every nigga in Brooklyn. So now there's a small community when it comes to certain spots that you're raised, and I'm not talking about you coming from Jersey or Long Island, and this is no diss, but for some reason, like right now, I've been living in Miami for 10 plus years, but people always go to me, where you from? Because they can sense I'm not from Miami. I don't do shit like, yo, I'm from Miami.
Don't front like I am.
I'm from Miami because I've been out here for 10 years. No, I'm from Brooklyn, and I happen to live in Miami.
And I'm domiciled in Miami.
And the reason why I say, thank you, babe, the reason why I say that is because just because you moved to Brooklyn or parts of Bushwick and are now artsy, and it's great, but that's not where you're from, so you can't necessarily take control and know what a community and how it is from the age of 22 on. You're the newbie in the neighborhood. You weren't raised there. Just like I'm not raised in Miami. I'm a newbie here. I could be here for 15, 20 years. I'm still from Brooklyn. And I say all of this to say, I don't know what happened where there was such this need for people that do music and art and culture to be from Brooklyn. There's great parts of the world that exist that are producing.
I remember when these white folk never wanted to go to Brooklyn.
Now
Brooklyn
everything,
was like,
now
watch Sex in the City and all of that.
Now you got people that aren't from Brooklyn, that aren't, and I'm bringing that up because I'm actually from there.
Word.
that are actually like, yo,
They
I've
buy a
been,
brownstone
I've
and they
been
from
here
there.
from, since I was this, and how dare the gentrifiers. You're the gentrifier,
It's you.
my nigga. I don't care if you're
It's you.
dark or whatever. You still come
It's
from
you.
outside into
It's you.
and think that you know. And I'm passionate about it because, again, I don't ever try to assume to know how things work in a neighborhood that I didn't go to school, junior high school, all of that. So that's camera A. Camera B, when it comes to communication, and again, these Kanye, the Jay-Z parties and all that, I'm honestly now, I never thought that I would be more invested in having a conversation with Kim than I would Kanye.
Yeah.
And
She the one getting Moors out of jail.
sorry, I really, and I don't.
She the one doing the
And
work.
then to me, it's like Kanye is still more
He
like the
putting
Christian,
people back in.
the
He putting people
churchy.
back in slavery. He putting people back in mental death and power. That's what he doing. But again, he can do that because the black celebrity is not. No, the black celebrity was never there to encourage
Us to
so-called
think
black
or to be
people
better.
to have their own. They have a vested interest in maintaining the status quo the way that it is, and we need to stop giving them more credit than they're due. If you like their entertainment, like the entertainment. You like what they act, you like what they act. But don't expect these people to be political pariahs for you. Don't expect these people to want to do anything to create a situation where we're all millionaires, where we're all nationally respected, where we all have the ability to be on TV and do what we want to do, because then what happens is they no longer are the
It's a
ones in
gate.
the front. So
Right, and they're
remember,
not-
this
they're
is
not
an
this
ego. This
talented
is an
10th or the selected
ego-based, talented 10th. What was it?
Boule,
Jack and
Boucher,
Jill,
you know,
Boule, all the look at Oprah.
AK
Look at Oprah.
sorority.
Oprah
We're
got
not-
all the money in the world,
She's such
but
a
because she is
self-hating
the
black woman.
well, she's the low-key capo for the gay mafia under Geffen and them. So she
Of course,
does
because then
political hits.
she'll bring all the people in and introduce, and then you think you're meeting somebody
Look up
special.
the gay mafia. Look up. Get a book called The Pink Swastika, and you'll see
That's
what I'm
an
talking
excellent
about.
book. Oh my God.
This what you think is just regular homosexuality. People just want to be able to sleep
It's a
with
political
and love who
agenda.
they want to. It has nothing to do with what's happening. This is a directed political agenda aimed at the so-called original man, original woman,
Disseminating.
because we together, not just me and Celina, but any archetype like this, is the anathemum, is the
Very
kryptonite
good word.
to white supremacy. No matter what you say or do, when you know who and what you are, and when you have decided that I'm not going to do or be a part of things in that way, what you have done is drawn a line in the sand to say that I'm not gonna say yes to one instance of evil, because to say yes to one instance is to say it yes to all of it. So I'm not gonna expect somebody like Jay-Z or Kaepernick or Obama or Serena or
So fuck with
anybody
me, or to like want
that
to be role
has
like
been
son
has been propped up to me
and program.
and
right.
programmed for me to look at as some sort of idol or God, because in the end they are set there by the current powers that be, because they are more down with them than me. And anybody that feels different, you're more than welcome to.
That's like
But we know better.
That's like what? Right? That's like watching the Dwayne Wade and the whole thing. I said, wow, look at Matt Barnes. There were so many sports niggas that had to come to his defense because it seemed like they went through the same ritual, and now they're using Dwayne as a means to, again, usher this agenda that it's normal for a 4-year-old to think that because he likes playing with his sister's Barbies, that he somehow has to be a homosexual or gay.
Yeah.
No,
This is what they want.
again, when you set an environment up for a certain type of behavior,
Yep.
you're gonna get that type
That's
of
right.
behavior. When you set up the environment for little kids to always have stories read by trannies, when they get older,
gonna be too
it's gonna
much.
be a softer experience, because again, this tranny used to read this school book to me between the age of 3 and 5, so now I'm used to seeing transgendered people, and that's okay. It's
Fine.
okay to want to soften and think, but don't act like we're not doing that. Don't act like
And
we're not
let's
trying to
not-
slowly subjugate the community and people to believe that that is a normal psychological way of being. It is not. It is not. It doesn't mean that just because 1,000 people are doing it, that somehow you're wrong or off by saying, hey, maybe those 1,000 people psychologically, maybe they drank something in the water, maybe there was something in the air, maybe there was something in the vaccines.
All you gotta do is read things like Agenda 21, read the population control, read the manual, Rex 84, read even other than that, read Plan for a New American Century by Wolfowitz and the Hawks back then.
Mm-hmm.
All of this is about controlling the populace to engender and bring about the type of soul or spirit that will help destroy everybody and everything else. So everything is, so it's freedom of speech, but watch what you say. So everybody is free so long as you don't
piss this person, that person, or happen to whatever. Like, I can't, like, in the world, how I really feel, I can't be like, yo, real talk, I would never trust Oprah Winfrey ever. And oh, well, why would it, you know, she's given so many, just because the devil might buy, and I'm not, just because somebody might buy somebody something or give a car or a house, that don't make them good people spiritually.
Look, like, she was big enough, Eckhart Tolle.
See, he just cut me off. I'm not like,
came to my mind.
He's gotta be. Normal.
She bigged up this dude Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle, we know, is warped. You know what I'm saying? He's one of these fake New Age spiritualists.
He's a landmark for you, please.
So, which means he's a program.
Yeah. Oh, then, look at that.
Yeah, you saw that, right?
Wow.
Then she bigged up this other dude, John of God, right? John of God turns out he was a human trafficker, selling little kids, enslaving them or whatever. She then opened up a school in Africa that turned into a goddamn rape camp.
So sad.
Okay? Then
you think that's a happenstance and all the things that's connected
that's
to
what I'm saying.
It's like a Puffy. You know what I'm saying? Like, mad people be like, yo, don't say this about... Puffy is not giving me nothing in the world. No. There is not any sign I'm traveling with Beyonce. Like, people really think that they're going to meet these people and they're going to become their besties.
I know.
And then, God forbid, I say something about my bestie. Like, I can't. Like, I respect the artistry, all of that. But real talk, I do not respect Jay-Z as a businessman. I don't find him attractive. I don't think that he's interesting. I just think that he was one of those guys that got lucky. And it happened to get lucky and being, like, swift. You know, like, the difference between swift and being kind of, like, genius? I just think that the timing worked out well. And business-wise, he made proper moves to align himself with what he thought was success. But in the real world, like how I feel, I don't have respect for individuals that move the way he does, that talks the way he does, that functions. He seems like a very unintelligible person. And that's not a diss. If someone were to watch me on TV, I'm sure they'll say, wow, she passionate, she just don't think that. They're going to have their own opinion,
Well, let's
too.
talk about the fact that
They're just not healthy-looking
business
people.
partner is a known FBI informant.
People don't even care.
It's a known FBI
you have
informant.
Money,
so what
whatever.
I'm saying is, when I say that all these people work with the police, I'm not lying. I'm telling you that all of these guys, all of these girls are there to create the type of art that is there to subjugate you mentally. It doesn't mean that it's not good. It doesn't mean that it's not entertainment. It don't mean that the beat ain't hot. Don't mean he can't rap. Don't mean that you can't like the song. But what I'm trying to express to you, brothers and sisters, is the fact that there is nothing on that television and no one on that television that is there to specifically tell you about your proper self, that's going to get you to not participate in the Roman mob rule mentality that runs the United States and the District of Columbia right now. None of these people is going to tell you to divest out of supporting people who, to divest from supporting your own oppression, because that's what we're doing. When we go to these places and we go to these things and we go to these venues and we believe these blogs and we believe all of the crap that these people just talking to us, we are believing it. If you believe that this guy is a great businessman because he was able to fuck over all his friends, and you believe that the only way to be a great business person is to be heartless and to not care about nobody or whatever, you are a white supremacist. That has nothing to do with business.
Word.
That's just what you are.
And an extreme capitalist.
An extreme ultra nihilist capitalist with what you call it with
psycho maybe what do you call it? Psychopathic tendencies.
With psychopathic and manic tendencies.
Because now you're willing to say do whatever with anybody
You'll
to
do
get
anything
that money.
for money.
That's really what it's come down to.
And that's what they bred us. Think about this. Just Google.
I was gonna think of something. Damn, I forgot.
I was gonna say Google.
I gotta get a notepad.
Google songs with money, about money, and see how many songs come up.
And let's say we didn't even talk like this. This isn't true. This is all. Sometimes people are like, oh, conspiracy. Why is it when anything is proven, but it's not necessarily co-signed by the whole, it's got to be conspiracy or something that's off or wrong? Like, honestly, that to me has always made me investigate more. When you know certain things, when you are aware, it's not like you can live in the same ignorance and practice the same, damn, I don't really know that. It's like all this knowledge that's out there, you've got to catch up, at least to the bare minimum. And in understanding, like, look, I get that, okay, for example, I love film, theater, all of that. But I don't really necessarily like being around actors. So then you gotta say, well, then where are you gonna be in the balance of that? Either you're gonna do what you gotta do, forget that you don't like, and move the story forward, or make your own movie by yourself with one or two people. These are the things and the decisions that you have to make, because at the end of the day, once you get paid to be a part of that, that is what you have to support. Somebody wrote, that's what I was gonna say, somebody wrote real quick, oh, you know, we always focus on the black women that are married to white men, but there's many black women in Hollywood that are married to black men. Those women like Gabrielle Union, Viola Davis.
Those guys are gay.
Hold on. See how he cut me off, but I'm not I'm gonna keep it. Those women that are black, that are married to black men, are always with a black man, those are the women that have to show out even more on screen. So example, if you're like a Niecy Nash or a Viola Davis, dark skin, whatever, and you got a black man at home, Eric Benet, pre-Halle Berry when she did that movie Monsters Ball, right? Okay, your black man at home, well, the ritual's gonna be that we gotta get you to fuck, suck, duck, do whatever on camera with this white man, so that we can cause dissension, we can cause some annoyance, some whatever, so that when your man see you on camera all the time, he always see you sucking with a white man. So yes, you're right. There are many women in Hollywood that are black, that are married to black men, but those are the women that have no problems, or that will take roles, entertaining the idea, because again, it's got to be balanced out somehow. They also, what I found interesting is that Dwayne Wade was talking about, oh, you know, this girl, she opened my mind up. There's nothing that I can open mentally up for this man. That doesn't mean that he's not going to listen, he's not going to change for me, he's not going to grow, but there's certain things that you just can't get a real man that is certain, oh, well, that's inflexibility, he's still holding on to old school. However you want to rationalize it, I cannot make him take off his turban, not wear this tomorrow, dress like this today. I can't influence. I can say, yo, my favorite is this, I like that, but it's not my job to dress or to encourage him to start thinking the way that the rest of the world wants black men to think.
What I see is most of these women don't want husbands, they don't want men, they want wives. They want to be able to run a dude, make a dude do what they want to do. Then what I also see is, like, you could sleep with whoever you want to sleep with. You have sex with whoever you want to have sex with. That's none of my business. What is my business is when you turn it into a military agenda by which if I don't want to participate in any of that, or my son or my daughter does not want to participate on it, then something is wrong with me. That right there, that's blaming the victim. That's what you do. That's what rapists do.
Well, she shouldn't have been out that late at night dressing like that. Absolutely.
For instance, they have millions of these so-called gay pride, LGBT, whatever, them alphabet people. They got all of their little parades and all up and down or whatever, where they want to do, right? That's all great. One day, a brother that I know, big up King Simon, my brother, this dude decided that he wanted to do a straight pride or a black family thing or with that, right? Parade or event or whatever. Do you know that he was bombarded with hate and all types of diatribe and vitriol from all of these different so-called gay organizations talking about straight people can't have this and heterosexuals can't do that or whatever. And that's when I stepped back and looked at it like, oh, this is really has nothing to do with sex at all. What this is really about is population control. What this is really about is Caucasian people's birth rates being zero, okay? Being zero, meaning that death rates are higher than their birth rate. So we're talking really in another 20 years, another 10, 15 years, they not going to be the majority, no way, because they wasn't, no way. But now what happens is going to be more dangerous, because now you're in a situation where you got all these other groups now trying to vie for the new position of who going to be the overseer for Slavery Incorporated. That's what these niggas is trying to do. And this homosexual thing and this getting kids to accept sexuality younger and younger is a low-key way for these dudes to couch their pedophilic,
create the environment,
and create the pedophilic reality that is going to be
in touch with their
a viable
now.
Sexual option for a 3-year-old.
Kids don't know what gay is at 2 unless you teaching them this.
No, but there is an organization called Mambla, right, which is all about men and boy love, that has been around since they started, since Berg, the guy that was in it, was part of an organization called the Children of God, out of which many Hollywood people is coming out of, and this was an organization that was sanctioning child prostitution, you know what I'm saying, as a religious act, that was actually creating pamphlets and giving to it that showed men and grown women having sex with little children, and this is being pumped like this was going to be normal.
Same thing with Catholicism. I always laugh that, you know, in order to become a this or that, it is a part. It's like almost like being like, you know what, I'm gonna become a vegan, and then I'm gonna become a vegetarian, but I'm gonna still eat meat. Like, you can't have it both ways. Like, you either are doing it or you are not. And if you are at that levels on some Catholicism, if you have not, you've witnessed somebody do it. You've been a part of it, because that's what your group co-signs. That's what they are about.
It is a Roman practice of pederasty that was injected by people like Ignatius Loyola and the oligarchs of the Venetian aristocracy that took over the papacy between 1581 and 1667. So you niggas can't tell me that you know what this thing is. The Catholicism.
That's a social experiment.
What I'm saying is that we're not trying to diss Catholics, okay? I'm not trying to say that if you're a Catholic, you're a pedophile. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the basis of how it was engendered into the so-called religion, Islam, into the so-called religion was brought forth intentionally to destroy our people, Moorish people, because it was instituted during the Reconquista. And the only people who was affected by the Reconquista was the Moors. The Asiatic black man and woman of North, Central, and South America, what we call Europe and Africa.
You see why they needed that
Yes.
And Christianity especially, not the ancient Coptic shit that's practiced under Islam, like
not Christ,
not right,
not Nazarenism,
no.
They're talking about Christ
or being a
Eanity.
Yes,
Eanity
which is
meaning
lacking
lack of
without,
substance.
lacking of.
Yep.
And that, just studying that, it was like, wow. Again, why? If I wasn't supposed to know this, then I wouldn't have gone through this. I wouldn't have found that book. I wouldn't have watched this. I wouldn't have listened to that. I can't negate certain scribes, certain things that have happened, that have taken place. That's a good thing.
I was raised, my grandmother told me that certain things was right and wrong. Okay? So you want me to now, at 47, what am I, 46, 47?
You're
at
47
47, you want me now to go past and get rid of all of the interpersonal instruction that was given to me by the primary members of my family, who told me that as a man that there's certain things I should do and shouldn't do. So now you want me to throw all of that away because little Timmy at 4 believes that he wants to be a girl, but at the same time, if I told Timmy, well, Timmy, you could be a truck driver, go and drive the truck at 4, you wouldn't have that. You wouldn't let him do that.
You'd be like, it's not really a kid's
But it's
job.
okay for him to want to get his penis cut off?
or to think that that's something that he was born wrong. To even give somebody that impression like that God made a mistake, that the zygote,
that God makes mistakes,
the zygote assignment is wrong. Like, yo, straight up, I'm taking care of
would
myself.
never.
Like, and I need to be open sometimes.
And I would never want to be a woman, not because
I know what you mean.
I don't like women, but because if I was a woman, I wouldn't know what it would be like to be as a man to love a woman. You see what I'm saying?
I had a son.
So even if I was to go through the whole change and did it all myself and wore the dress and all that, I would still be a man.
You don't have no uterus.
You know, if I went to the hospital, they would ask me, they'd be like, oh, he's trans? Okay,
that means they could put my uterus in him. Let's say they do that.
Yeah.
Newness.
Take my uterus out, put it in me.
It's still not what you were organically
I'm still
born
a man.
as. So I get it. Even if we don't put it on the birth certificate, like niggas going around everything. Even if we don't do that, I get it. You still had either X, Y, your chromosome assignment, all of that. You can't really just be like, fuck God, he made a mistake. And you can. But we're seeing what happens when you do that. And all of this social experimentation, I mean, policing how we are with our children, policing how we are with our thoughts, not being able to talk about anybody that's celebrity, not being able to so-and-so, because if we do, then I won't get co-signed to get this, and then I won't get money doing that. Like, we lost faith in the people.
Look,
like, sometimes even in thinking about that, like, I'm cool with not being co-signed by the elder head wrap hoes. Because at the end of the day, I don't respect them.
I used to do a show with a guy.
I don't respect them anymore. Why? Because I'm seeing how they living outside the cameras and stuff. And it gets me so passionate because it so annoys me when I hear another woman give another person advice about their womb, about their fibroids, but they don't even have the humility to admit what they might be going through, or to say, hey, I had a stillbirth, we're always on this, I'm better than you, I'm perfect, and it's so draining.
Right.
Do you know that that's why I'm okay with not having a whole plethora of girlfriends? It's not because I'm not a dope shorty or a great friend. It's because it's too fucking much. It's too draining to have to balance everybody's insecurities. At the end of the day, I realized that too. I said, if my girlfriends ain't doing yoga, if they not going to the steam room, if they not getting up to go out to the beach or to go anywhere to work out on themselves, they not gonna like me. They're gonna see me as some type of opposition and difficulty. Like, nigga, I don't like Virgos either, and I'm a fucking Virgo. But I definitely am not annoying that I'm gonna put my little discipline shit on somebody else. That's just what keeps me in check. I can be around the laziest and rock with it because I'm also somebody that likes smoking a lot of weed. So it's a balance. I gotta be around people that are like, word, I can smoke mad tree and go for this run and do this. It's very difficult to find that in women that aren't like upset that they have to take off their lace front and aren't feeling challenged that I have the real locks and they have faux locks. Like, I don't care about none of that. I just want to chill with cool people that are open to like laughter and traveling and fun. And what I realize is niggas is too competition, jealousy. Oh, this person, that, and you get it most from men. You think the couple years y'all wasn't seeing me and all that, it was, I'm gonna be honest with this. Mad niggas would try to come through, and you know when dudes come through, you fall back as a shorty like, nah, let the dudes chill. Some of these niggas that we met out here in Miami, they became obsessed with this motherfucker.
Not just out here.
Not just, but I'm talking about, a newness. I'ma just, I don't know him. Some of these niggas got so tight, like, yo, I could tell that they felt they needed niggas' company. So whether it's secure pussy, to attract whatever, to do whatever. Look, how I know? Shorties will call me like, I slept with so-and-so thinking that he was your brother, thinking that that was Aseer's brother. Bitch, if you did all that, then why didn't you bring the pussy to my house? You might have gotten further fucking with the real thing than trying to get with some side hustle. Because at the end of the day, these niggas are not everybody works on themselves. If you 47 and you don't look like this, you on that Talib shit, we're not gonna hang out and have fun. Because you gotta be a confident man to say, well, my money supplements my self-care. How much money and how much I'm stressed supplements the fact that I don't take care of myself and it looks like I drink caramel corn for tea. Like, it's not my fault that some people really drop the ball for whatever reasons.
And what this says, brothers and sisters, is that when you put yourself on a path to get what you gotta get done,
No
you
disrespect,
can't
Talib, but you
necessarily
gotta start working out, bro.
you can't
These niggas look
necessarily
horrible.
put yourself in a situation to be up under somebody all the time. Like, they'll encourage you. They'll always talk about unemployment and how niggas don't have jobs, but they don't create a situation to teach you how to establish a business. They want you to be subservient because everything in the United States is run through business, but the business of the United States is all based on a hostile takeover. Washington, D.C. is not America, man. Washington, D.C. is the occupational government that usurped all of the governments that was here in 1871. If you are Indian today and you trying to get money or whatever, that means you have to be recognized by the U.S., which means you are a ward of the state. I don't care how much money they're giving you. I don't care how much things that you popping off, because you cannot. The other thing is you can't be the Indians and the Pilgrims at the same time. There's no way that the Indians that's talking about Little Tuck and these white people, these straight Caucasian people, have come here now. They calling themselves Indian. They getting all of this money or whatever. But the Indians that they are a part of is something called, the reason why that they can be that is because they actually are part of something called the Native American Party that was established in 1845 by a Jewish dude and an Irish dude. Okay?
Naps. I thought that was a funny acronym.
So, when you call yourself Native American, when you call yourself, I'm one of these recognized card-carrying Indian people, what you are saying is that you are a genetical plagiarist that is standing as a placeholder for the original people, for the genetic original people who have no knowledge of themselves and forgot, and have now given up their own ability of self-initiation to perpetually be a second-class slave class citizenry to everybody else except themselves. So my thing is, brothers and sisters, if that's not what you with, if you're not with being the perpetual slave of somebody, then you got to start to look within and decide. You got to look at that original woman. She got to look at you. You got to look at her, and y'all got to say, we all we got. Everybody else is against us. Okay?
And I don't mean paranoid against
This has nothing to do with paranoia. You can turn on the Facebook, the YouTube, the news, the everything. There's over 75,000 black women missing. 120, what they say? $120,000 is being paid per inmate, and that you have prisons today that's actually taking states to court because they are not arresting enough people to fill their prisons. And you mean to tell me that in a society like that, you expect me to have total faith in how it's gonna go, that I should just give it all up to whoever to work it out for me? Hell no. We gonna do what we gonna have to do ourselves. And if you with that,
we'll meet up halfway.
We'll meet up and we'll make it happen.
And all loves and rocks to all artists, creatives, all
artists.
of that. Because it's not easy, not only creating something,
Keep your integrity.
but keeping your integrity in a time where it seems so celebrated to not.
Word.
And people are getting awarded. Lizzo is getting awarded for being the best.
To pump morbid obesity.
And I, to be honest, it's not surprising. Like, people are so passionate about the Lizzo. I'm like, yo, no doubt, she's really next level. But again, it's environment inappropriate. If she had on that shit at the beach, we wouldn't have talked about it like that. But you wearing that to a family function, to a little basketball game, you look crazy. But she's getting awarded to look and make people of color look insane.
Because they have a projected idea that they said by 2025, creating the environment, they said by 2025 to 2050, they said that 85 to 90% of all black women will be morbidly obese. This is what they've projected.
And so that's planting the seed for us to just fall into
And
line.
so now they giving you that. Here's Gabrielle Sidibe. Here's what's her name.
And
here's
then, you know what else I said?
Here's that
I said I'm cool with big women because you don't know, you're either 100 pounds in my family or 210, 310 pounds, easy. But it doesn't make it healthy. So for me, I'm all about, look, I look great when I had, double D's, but it wasn't healthy on my 5-foot frame.
No.
It just wasn't.
It wasn't.
So that's camera A. Camera B, I'm really, really amazed at how people are consistently surprised and shocked with the level of applause we give to people that have no creativity. We were just watching this story about Betty Davis, you know, Miles Davis's wife. She was a bad bitch.
All
bad
y'all
queen.
bit her shit.
Still is. Still
All
is.
y'all bit
First
Betty
Little
Davis.
Kim. First, but the thing is, I say Little Kim because, you know, that sexuality, that energy, it's a very hard thing to balance. And when you have it like that, I give shout outs because he know I'm doing my thong bikini stuff on the beach. I'm doing all my shit because I worked hard on myself, hard on my body. So it ain't nothing to see and to think and to celebrate it, because when you're not hoeing out there, it feels good to be like, yo, this is how I celebrate my body. Not by giving it to other men, not by expecting acceptance and approval, but by saying, damn, these legs look fucking, and I'm gonna put these shits out today because I'm 42 and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. But to the degree of where the Lizzo is, I'm seeing people be so enraged. It's great to see people passionate about something again. But let's be passionate about the things that really, really matter. Let this bitch hang herself. She ain't even gonna be here in the next 20 years.
No.
The way Lizzo acted.
No, because most of these guys are industry plants. They industry plants. Tekashi.
Do you think that they would award somebody? It's the same thing I saw. I said, look, I love the big woman doing yoga and all of that. But why do we have to make the Kotex spokesperson the 300-pound chick that doesn't look like the face of yoga?
But all the other yogis is skinny,
slim,
felt, what you call it, white girls, right?
You can have a couple black girls that maybe look a little in shape, but that can't be the general. That can't be what we all look like. And when we do give somebody something with yoga on TV, you're damn well sure gonna enough believe she's gonna have something real off for her. So now somebody like me that's made choices at 22 to stop, you know, not only
to actually be consistent,
at my practice and think, nah, we ain't paying attention to you. Your hair too long, your body too in shape. We need somebody to look a little broken, that's gonna hate themselves. So when we put her on camera, she's talking about, oh, well, when I first, you know, I hated my skin color and myself for the first 20 years. How is it that every bitch that's on hated their goddamn skin color?
Exactly.
It's like, it's gotta be
and they're doing all the extra revolutionary black shit, right?
Yes, Queen and Slim, but your husband looked like fucking, you know, and I say that to say, it is amazing to me, because they are the first ones that are always like, well, now I'm just the spokesperson of Black Beauty, and I'll be like, I don't believe this bitch. This bitch hated herself when she was a child, and I feel bad for girls like that. Obviously, you know, it is a thing, but I'm tired of seeing the women that are so, oh, I hated my skin color, I always switch to be lighter.
They the black revolutionary.
Why do you always give them microphones and let them be spokespersons and on Hollywood and on this? Everyone. It must have been, I won't say every, 99% of black women that I have read articles about that are doing wonderfully, always that are my color.
They always got to say that, because that's their check. That's their little check thing. As soon as I say that, I get an extra check.
To say, oh, well, I hated myself, now...
Or I don't date black men. Another check.
Another check. Or what do we see? Regina King, even her. Because I have my thing with Regina King.
Bitch.
And see, she said Sam Elliott.
She was sexually attracted to Sam Elliott. Bitch, are you crazy? You just did The Watchmen where the black man was God.
No.
Now you saying Sam Elliott?
I told you.
And I like Sam Elliott.
Yo, I love Sam Elliott, but I'm not popping my pussy to him at 14 years old and then talk about it.
Yep.
At least lie.
Another check.
Lie.
Another check.
Say, oh, I was attracted to Harry Belafonte.
What we're saying is
somebody else. No. Why you gotta always make us look like we just so fucking stupid?
Exactly, because that's their job.
And I think it's because she just did The Watchmen. So now
but
I gotta do
Watchmen,
something.
The black man was God, so I gotta deflect that.
Right, and now become the super one outside of that energy. Because I don't want everybody to think that I'm anti-white.
And if I'm lying, Regina, hit me
up.
Hit me up. houseofbell@hotmail.com. You tell me.
Be like, nah.
But you ain't.
Nah, I just really wanted to, you know, be honest, because I really liked him. There's white men that were attractive, but I won't talk about, oh, I thought about popping my pussy to them, or, oh, you know, he could have gotten it. I'm so sick of that shit.
Even if that's how I felt, I'm not going to make that the first thing I say, because, you know what? Because my mother.
I got some respect for myself.
Because my mother is Asiatic. Because my daughter is Asiatic.
Like,
because
why
my
you gotta
queen
always
is Asiatic.
Be the first one
why
to
is
talk
it that
about
if I want to celebrate my culture, my race, my people, my woman, that somehow or another my verb for that is somehow dissing somebody else? Because really what it is, and we gotta cut this off.
I gotta go right now.
Yeah, we gotta go. Wow, it's the hawk.
And I'm gonna show you these before I go. I'm calling them yin yang bungee cord hair ties. You see how long they are? My hair really takes a long time to put up if I am gonna put it up, or I do want to wear it up. Just want some king. It took me forever to find an actual hairband that I could just put around my hair once and it keep my hair up and tight. I used to spend like $50 on this European company that made hairballs, right? So, okay, you can tell my hair is pretty thick. For it to be up like this and to stay there, or to stay in a real high pony, I literally needed something like a bungee cord. And it took me forever to find something that worked. But these are dope because you can wrap your hair around it. You know, I'm not really into all of that real quick, but you can wrap your hair around it real quick. They keep your hair up and tight, and you won't be going through bolas or bubbles every 2 seconds. So again, the Yin Yang Bungee hair balls. I'm gonna start selling them on the website, and thank you to all of those that I'm trying to think to show it, but I got heels on and I'm not squatted enough, and I don't have Meg the Stallion thighs towards the end. Yin Yang Zebra Yin Yang hair balls. They're excellent. You'll see them on the website. You only need 2 times around. It's gonna hold that shit up forever. Your ponytail won't sag during the day, and it's for really thick hair. Really, really thick, heavy hair. I can't even wear my hair up because I don't have the proper support. So now that I do, it's cool and all, but you know, don't wear your hair up if your neck is killing you. I keep my shit down because it's easier.
You gotta go pick up on more. But yo,
Love and Light, CordobaOrganics.com, AseerTheDucateers.com. We're gonna be back on, but again,
this is January 1st also, so like I said, we want to celebrate and give honors to our fallen Moorish ancestors that fell today. We also want to give ancestors to all of the
give
Moors,
a shout out to
all of the Moors who not only fell today but have been fighting since 1492 to 2020. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So technically, we just want to say long live the fighters. Also, today was the day that Haiti became independent. So we want to big up Desanye, Boukman, Makandal, Toussaint, everybody that worked to get us to the position where we can remember them today in their proper person. And again, this is not to diss nobody. What we are doing is talking about the stuff that most of our people
have been paid to not talk about,
but are scared now.
I was gonna say I've been paid to not talk about,
right?
To act like doesn't happen,
right?
To act like isn't there.
And we're
I get
the voice
but
of the folks that know better and want to do better. So in order for that, we got to
and want to represent like you being able to be cognizant and not feel like you have to compromise that in order to get this type of cosign or to be involved in a group of what? A group of energy and people that don't even have enough energy to drink water during the day. So at the end of the day, really, you know, really count your blessings and be grateful. And today, this actually marks January 1st was the first day I moved back to New York a year ago. Yeah. And that was at a time, Aseer and I lived together for 15 years straight. And I was like, yo, real talk, Amor needs to really value and understand all of this stuff. And I wasn't in a good headspace because I felt like the one person that was given to me, everybody wanted a piece of, a thing. And when everybody fight for something, I just usually fall back and say, I'm gonna make my own over there. And I literally did that with my own man. Like, this shit is getting too trickle, and there's too many niggas that's fighting to sit in the front seat of the car. So while that's happening, let me take a step back and let him, and let all the energy that I might be seeing a couple months early, he gonna catch up and see all of it. And it all unveiled and unraveled, and everything is back to where it needs to be. Meaning I'm grateful to be in a space where we can sit here today and say, wow, look at how much we've learned in a year. And look at how much God has rewarded us by not necessarily ripping each other or ripping ourselves away from the foundation that we created for one another. When you don't have family, you're grateful to attract someone that does not diss you or treat you like shit for not being co-signed or, you know, trusted. You don't got family, what nigga gonna trust you? Like, that bitch is crazy. You saw how her sister talked to her? You saw how her grandfather is? When really, sometimes these things happen to keep you from being accepted.
If you're the
from
one in your
things,
family that the other members of the family don't like because you be talking certain things that they don't want to hear, then that means that you're the resurrection of the family. So what you need to do is go more within self, be more truthful about what you know to be right, and you need to bring them to task as much as possible. But at times that you need to be merciful, be that. But don't allow family or anybody else to deter you from what you know Allah's put in your heart to do. Whether you call it Allah, whether you call it Jesus, whether you call it Buddha, whatever. We more know that it's the higher self, but we don't deal with religion. We deal with science. So in that,
religion is to rely on.
Is to rely on. And just like Ianity is lack of substance. So if you put Christ in front of substance, we don't want that. So if you're going to be a Christian, go back to the original Nazarene text. Be a real Christian. And that's what's going to bring you back to the Muslim. So either way,
it's going to bring you back to the Moabs.
It's going to bring you back to the Moabites. It's going to bring you back to us, right back home.
So we could still link up and go,
yo, you see? We can link up and we can be ourselves.
And not only that, respect everybody's religion, respect everybody's culture.
Ain't gotta deal with it.
Because you know, not only you have to deal with it, but you know where they're stemmed from.
That's
it's like a bonsai tree, and all these other little trees and ferns coming from them. How am I gonna hate on the spruces and the ferns when they all came from this mother tree? So you know,
we're that tree.
Exactly.
We're Yagdrasil.
Yo, love and peace. I'm gonna see y'all later. I gotta go. Peace out, homies.